How has social media reshaped the landscape of our personal and professional lives? That's the question we're diving into today. Social media, in its many forms, has become an integral part of our day-to-day lives. It's the first thing we check in the morning and the last thing we look at before we go to bed. It has revolutionized the way we communicate, the way we share, and the way we perceive the world around us. Think about it. These digital platforms have broken down geographical barriers, allowing us to connect with people from every corner of the globe. From a simple tweet to a heartwarming video, we can share ideas, experiences, and emotions with millions at the click of a button. Social media has given a voice to the voiceless and brought about social and political change in ways we could never have imagined. But like every coin, social media also has another side. A side that is not as shiny and appealing as it may first appear. While it has brought us closer in some ways, it has also created a chasm in others. It's an invisible thread that connects us, but that thread can sometimes become a noose, pulling us into a vortex of stress, anxiety, and conflict. In the professional realm, social media has changed the game entirely. It has given businesses a direct line to their customers, allowing for real-time feedback and engagement. It has also provided a platform for innovation, collaboration, and growth. But it is not without its pitfalls. With great power comes great responsibility, and when misused, social media can be a double-edged sword. So, yes, social media has reshaped our lives in profound ways. It has given us the power to connect, to share, to inspire, and to change. But with this power comes a responsibility to use it wisely and mindfully. As we delve deeper into the world of social media, we must ask ourselves, but what happens when this powerful tool becomes a source of stress, anxiety, and conflict? Let's find out in our upcoming scenes. Stay tuned. Consider the harrowing tale of a teenager, a victim of relentless cyberbullying. Let's call her Jane. Jane's story is not unique, but it is a stark illustration of the darker side of social media. Jane, like many her age, loved to share her life online. It was a space for her to express herself, to connect with friends, to feel part of a community. But one day, this vibrant online world turned against her. A few classmates decided it would be fun to start a campaign of online torment. They posted cruel comments on Jane's posts, created humiliating memes of her, and even sent threatening messages. The impact was immediate and devastating. Jane began to withdraw from her friends and family, spending more and more time alone. The once vibrant and outgoing teenager was replaced by a shell of her former self, filled with self-doubt and anxiety. She was gripped by a fear of the very platform she once loved, the platform that had now become a source of her torment. But the effects of this cyberbullying extended far beyond the confines of Jane's screen. She began to show signs of severe depression, her grades plummeted, and she even contemplated self-harm. This is the psychological toll that cyberbullying can take. These harmful behaviors are not new, but social media, with its wide reach and relative anonymity, amplifies their impact. In the physical world, a bully's actions are limited to their immediate surroundings, but in the digital world, their actions can reach a global audience. This amplification can make the effects of cyberbullying far more devastating than traditional forms of bullying. Moreover, the veil of anonymity that social media often provides can embolden bullies, making them feel invincible, detached from the consequences of their actions. It's this toxic combination of wide reach and relative anonymity that makes social media a fertile ground for cyberbullying. Jane's story is not unique. Every day, countless individuals face similar experiences on social media. This is but one example of how social media can serve as a platform for harm rather than connection. Did you know that social media addiction is a recognized psychological disorder? This might surprise you, but it's a reality for many in our digital age. Consider the case of Jane, a once vibrant and outgoing individual who became a cautionary tale of social media addiction. Jane's story began innocently enough. She joined social media platforms to connect with friends, share memories, and stay updated. It was a fun diversion, a way to pass time. But as days turned into months, her casual browsing morphed into hours of endless scrolling. She began to isolate herself from the world outside her screen. Conversations were replaced with comments, friendships with followers, and reality with an idealized online persona. Her productivity took a nosedive as she became more engrossed in the virtual world, her mental health deteriorating as she struggled to keep up with the pressure of maintaining a perfect online image. And what fueled this transformation? The answer lies in the clever algorithms of social media platforms. These algorithms are designed to create addictive feedback loops, constantly drawing users back with personalized content, notifications, and the promise of social validation. Like a gambler at a slot machine, Jane found herself constantly seeking the dopamine hits delivered by likes, shares, and comments. The more she used social media, the more isolated she became, trapped in a digital echo chamber that catered to her interests and validated her opinions. Her real-world connections faded as her online presence ballooned. The pressure to maintain her online persona became a full-time job, leaving little room for anything else. Social media for Jane was no longer a tool for connection, but a platform for comparison, a competition for approval, and a source of relentless anxiety. The line between her online and offline self became blurred, her sense of self-worth tied to the number of likes and followers she had. Social media, in this case, transformed from a harmless pastime into a consuming obsession. We must remember that while social media can be a powerful tool for connection, it can also fuel unhealthy habits and patterns if not used mindfully. What impact does the spread of misinformation on social media have on our society? Imagine a spark in a dry forest. It takes only a moment for that spark to ignite a fire, and in no time that fire can spread out of control, consuming everything in its path. This is an apt metaphor for the spread of misinformation on social media. Picture this: a rumor starts somewhere on the internet. It could be a blog post, a tweet, or a Facebook update. It's a piece of information that sounds plausible, but it's not true. It's misinformation. Now this rumor starts to spread. It's shared by one person, then another, then another. Like wildfire, it races through social media networks, gaining momentum with every share, every retweet, every like. It reaches millions of people in just a matter of hours. And here's the scary part. Once it's out there, it's nearly impossible to contain. Even when the truth comes out, the damage has been done. The false information has already influenced people's opinions, shaped their decisions, and in some cases even incited real-world actions. Let's take a look at a case study. In 2020, a false rumor about a pending food shortage spread across social media platforms. This led to panic buying, empty supermarket shelves, and unnecessary fear and stress for millions of people. The speed and scale of social media make it an incredibly efficient tool for spreading misinformation. It's a platform where anyone can publish anything, instantly reaching a global audience. This democratization of information, while it has its benefits, also poses serious dangers when misused. False information can lead to confusion, fear, and mistrust. It can distort public discourse, influence elections, and even incite violence. In the wrong hands, social media can become a weapon of mass deception. So, what's the solution? It's not as simple as banning social media or censoring content. We all have a role to play in combating misinformation. It starts with critical thinking, fact-checking, and a healthy dose of skepticism. In the wrong hands, social media can become a weapon of mass deception. So, knowing all this, how can we interact with social media in a healthier, more mindful way? Let's begin by setting boundaries. You wouldn't keep eating when you're full, so why should we overindulge in social media? Set time limits for yourself. There are plenty of apps and built-in features on your devices that can help you manage your screen time. Use them to your advantage. Next, let's talk about the information we consume. Just like we need to be mindful of the food we eat, we need to be critical of the information we absorb. Not everything we read or see on social media is true. It's important to verify information from credible sources before believing or sharing it. We need to be conscious consumers, not passive bystanders. Now on to the tricky part, self-worth. It's easy to fall into the trap of equating our value with likes, comments, and shares. But remember, you are not your social media profile. You are a unique, complex individual with a life outside the digital world. Don't let a number on a screen define your worth. Furthermore, it's important to remember that social media is a highlight reel. It's not an accurate representation of someone's life. People choose what they want to share, and often it's the best parts. Comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel can lead to feelings of inadequacy. Try to remember what you see on the screen isn't the whole picture. Lastly, let's remember to check in with ourselves. If you notice that your mood changes after using social media, take a step back. It's okay to take a break. Your mental health is important. Be mindful of how social media affects you and adjust your habits accordingly. It's up to us to wield the power of social media wisely. for our benefit and the benefit of those around us. Let's turn the tide. Let's use social media as a tool for connection, learning, and growth. It's in our hands to change the narrative. So let's start today.